People! This is Fisher12 and we have another exciting Black Ops 3 Zombies video for you guys today, as always. And today I wanted to talk about the newly announced DLC Zombies map and some of the stuff that we might encounter on this map. Now this map is called Eisendrachen, which will translate to the Iron Dragon if you put that into a translator, but a few of my German friends have advised that Drachen means kite or hang glider when you use it as a standalone word versus in a sentence. But you know, we're not here to discuss grammar, but I think the important thing to note here simply is that it's referring to something with wings and the ability to fly. But if we look at this picture, we can definitely make some initial conclusions about the map. So, let's start with the spotlights. I think the spotlights indicate that we are dealing with somewhat present time and not like 1017 or some medieval period that this castle might have been built around. There's also a cannon in the bottom left, further indicating that this is in the modern era, or at least a more modern era. And in the back right, you can see what looks like a rocket similar to the map Ascension. And maybe this is alluding to the fact that Der Eisendrachen is another German test facility. But what I think is the most important part of this picture are the flags. The flags have the Templar cross on them, and that tells us that this map takes place before the Giant, before Der Riese, before 1945, because during World War II is when the Nazi Party made the switch to the swastika. And I don't think Treyarch are just trying to be politically correct here. I really believe that putting the crosses on these flags is intentional. Now, if you remember back to a previous video of mine where I discussed Richtofen's note that's found on the Shadows of Evil map, you'll remember that one of the coordinates on that note pointed to a location in Austria, right around the Eisendrache ice cave and the Hohenwerfen castle. And I apologize if I'm not pronouncing those correctly, but it looks as if this new DLC map is in fact this location. If you look at a picture of the Hohenwerfen castle and compare it to the image of the Der Eisendrachen castle that we have from the promo artwork poster thing that was released, there are many noticeable similarities, particularly in the architecture. You see medieval curtain-style walls, the tops of the towers have a similar funnel shape to them, they both have cylindrical arsenal towers, and they have what I think is called a keep in the middle. I think that's the main building in a castle complex, and they both even have a bell tower too. So there are just tons of similarities, like I said, and there's almost too many to suggest that this is based off another location. Now, the interesting thing about this Zombies DLC map is that it was loosely leaked around the time that the beta came out. People went through the code and saw references to a castle map, and while people might have initially dismissed that possibility, the announcement of this DLC map really confirms that earlier leak to be true. And because that leak was true, we can believe that the other leaks about this map from the same source are also true as well. So one of those leaks that was mentioned were werewolves. There's supposed to be werewolves on this map. Now, werewolves could have easily been a reference in the code to dogs. Werewolves could have just been a variable name. But if we look at the history or the path that Treyarch has been going on, they're switching up the dog roles in each map. Like in Shadows of Evil, we have wasps. We don't have dogs anymore. And then we have the meatballs. We actually have two forms of dogs on this map. So it's possible, and more likely in my opinion, that the werewolves are going to be different from dogs. They're going to be some insane creature on their own. And the last two leaks were code references to DLC castle weapons. The first one was Mech Weapon Flamethrower, and the other one was Weapon 115 Muz, or M-U-Z. I'm not really sure what those are. They're still kind of cryptic, but I think we can use some context clues from other areas of the game to make some probable suggestions here. So, Mech Weapon Flamethrower is likely a weapon of either a Silver Protector-like robot, or it's going to be the weapon of what the Margwa is in Shadows of Evil. So the new version of the Margwa in this map, if there is one, might have a flamethrower weapon. Who knows? And then Weapon 115 Muz, M-U-Z. I'm not sure what Muz or M-U-Z refers to, but I think 115 indicates that this is going to be the new wonder weapon. But ultimately, we're just going to have to wait and see. It is a little difficult to make any sort of conclusion based off these sort of, like I said, cryptic lines of code. But just based off this picture and the Easter egg cutscene from Shadows, I'm really excited for this map. I'm really excited to see where this map takes us in our zombie storyline. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys are just as excited for this map too. because I think this is, even though we've had sort of snowy maps before, I think the experience on this map is going to be like no other. I don't think it's going to be like Mob of the Dead. It's certainly not going to be like Shadows, and it's definitely not going to be like the Giant. So, like I said, I'm honestly truly excited to see what this map has in store for us. But that will unfortunately bring us to the end of today's video. So if you found it helpful, if you found it useful, make sure to drop a like. And if you're new here looking for more Black Ops 3 content in your life, then go ahead and click on that subscribe button. I upload Monday through Friday with all Black Ops 3 content, so make sure to stay tuned for that. But other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.